But the problem is you're going to have to figure out if it's law of sines or cosines to start out with. So real quickly, let's just review both. And hey, when should I use this over the other formula? So you got law of sines. A side, I just called it side A. It could be any side, right? Any side. Side A over the sine of the angle across. And on the other side of the proportion, another side over the sine of the angle across. Now look, hey, how many angles do I have listed up there? For law of sines, how many angles? 2. So you have to have at least 2 angles to use law of sines. Now, that could be, I'll just 8, 9, 52. That could be a given angle and a missing angle. That counts as 2. But you need 2. You need 2. If I take that away, let me move this up here. How many angles do you have now? Just the 1. You can't use law of sines. That's when law of cosines comes in. All right, so if you're debating which one do I use, ask yourself, how many angles do I have? If you have 2 angles, then you can use law of sines. If you only have 1 angle, law of cosines. All right, and remember, when I say 2 angles, that could be 2 angles that are given to you, or 1 angle and an angle you need to find. That counts as 2. But you need 2 to use law of sines. If you only have 1, it's going to be law of cosines. Good? And please remember Thursday's test, I am not giving you either formula. That's on your own. All right, but I think after you use it enough, I think it'll just become second nature. So what you're about to do right now, you got 4 problems here for me to do. I have given you some information. So let's take a look at example 1 real quick before I let you go on your own. So go ahead, if you haven't already, set up the diagram for example 1. All right, here we go. It says solve the triangle. So you have to first decide, all right, is it going to be, am I going to start this out with law of sines or cosines? What do I have enough information for? First question, how many angles? Only 1. I only have 72 degrees. So I'm going to start out using law of cosines. And then the second question is going to be, all right, that's great that you know it's law of cosines, but what in this triangle can you find now using law of cosines? Because I'm missing 2 angles and a side. So what can I find using, we all decided it's going to be law of cosines, which is correct. But what can I find? The missing side or one of the 2 angles? What can I find now using law of cosines? Is it going to be angle A, angle B, or side C? Because I can only use one of them. I can only find one of them using the law of cosines. And it's going to be what? If you think about law of cosines and how it's set up and what we plug into it, what am I going to be able to find? That's what I was thinking too. If you're thinking the side opposite, you're correct. Yes, we can find C, right? The side opposite the angle. How's that going to look? C squared equals other 2 sides squared minus 2 times those 2 sides times the cosine of the angle that was given, 72. So you can find side C, and then from there, you guys can choose whether to find angle A and B, and I think you can use law of sines or cosines. Okay, and then final thing before I let you go, remember if you have 2 angles, don't stress yourself out and make their life harder. Find the third by subtracting them from 180. Right? If you have 2 out of 3 angles, you don't need law of sines or cosines again. Just subtract the 2 from 180, and you got the third angle. All right, would I like it for you to work in your groups? Yeah, I would love it, but I know some of you like to go solo, and I respect that. I will give you all the answers up here so you can check them. The only thing, just a heads up, if your angle is off by a degree, that's okay, because some of you may use the non-rounded answer versus the rounded answer. But so if any of your angles are off by a degree, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, but here are the answers. If you get all the 4 questions correct, no issues, start on the homework. If there are issues, better call me over ASAP. All right, so on you guys right now. Go ahead. On you guys.